The screen is black. Not just your average black, but the heavy black one experiences when they are in a comatose sleep. All of a sudden, a neon blue light explodes into the frame. The blinding absurdity of the light fills the frame. The viewer trying to focus a focus point, but the only thing quite visible is the number 115 spiraling down with a tunnel of light. 4 dark figures slam down through the tunnel. The light slowly fades to black, and the quiet clank of a 1920s vodka glass is heard. Nikolai.
Oh, where are we?
Dempsey. Richtofen, what the fuck did you do now? Richtofen says, oh, Dempsey, I wish I knew, but I love being in this big dark area. Dempsey says,
Pervert.
Takeo says,
Dempsey, get your hand off of me.
Richtofen says, that's not Dempsey. The door to the storage room flings open, and out stomps Tank Dempsey, 19 years old, tall, blonde, full of hopeless aspirations. We're looking at him. He has an absurd amount of muscle mass for a young adult. Following him walks out Nikolai Belinsky, traditional Russian garb. Nikolai reeks of aged vodka, horseradish, and washed up, I can't say that word. Now Dempsey says, not again. Takeo Masaki comes flying out behind the two heroes, dressed in absurdly stereotypical Japanese attire. His long katana swing flails behind his back. Finally strolls Edward Richtofen, short, lanky like a grasshopper, and pale as a ghost. His ego is so excessive one could poke a hole, and little eddies would float out. That's such a weird line. He carries a small black triangle in his hand. Nikolai says, Richtofen, where are we? What kind of stinking mission are we on now? The 4 heroes glance at each other, with every awkward second slowly realizing what had occurred. Richtofen, it seems as if we have traveled back in time, reversing our age. Oh, how lovely. Richtofen's voice squeaks more than Alvin and the Chipmunks going through puberty. Takeo says, I swear to God, Richtofen. Maxis comes out and says,
oh, hello, Edward.
Richtofen whips his head around like Willow Smith. Maxis says,
Welcome to 48.8567 North and 2.3508 East. You may be wondering, how did we get here? Me? Are you in the past or the future?
From the darkness steps Dr. Ludwig Maxis, brooding and full of sincere arrogance. Maxis strolls towards the group. Maxis says, nice to see you again, old buddy. Nikolai says, what, Richtofen? Who is this pig? Maxis says, has he not told you? Oh, I am dear pal Maxis. Maxis finally reaches Richtofen and places a hand on his shoulder, ever so daintily. All of a sudden, in the distance, a quiet sound of footsteps is heard approaching. Nikolai says, hello? Takeo says, in for a penny? In for a pound? Dempsey says, Tak, what the fuck? Richtofen glances around in a paranoid manner. Maxis says, who are your friends? Richtofen says, friends? Yes, that's what they are. The footsteps progressively get loud, and all of a sudden, Dr. Harvey Yena appears. I know it was you, Edward. And Richtofen says, why now? And Harvey Yena says, if we are to have a meetup, now is the time. You never respected me, yet I did far more than anything you could have made. Without hesitation, and alive, Peter McCain comes flying towards the squad. Peter McCain! Peter fucking McCain just fucking appears. And he says, hey doctors, remember me? The motherfucker you hung up on Shinonuma. And Dempsey says, Jesus McCain, how the heck are you still alive? Peter McCain says, time travel wobbly bullshit. Richtofen says, too bad you a horrible spy. Richtofen pulls out, oh my god. Richtofen pulls out a gun and shoots McCain dead. He falls down in a heap of mass to the cold hard surface. Nikolai says disgruntled, I need more vodka. Nikolai starts to walk away from the group, stumbling a little along his path. As he's walking, he spies a boarded up window. Nikolai says, oh, I wonder what's behind there. Richtofen takes the black triangular pyramid out of his pocket. Nikolai proceeds to lean up against the window while the undead horde approaches. And Nikolai says, freaking Germans. One breaks through the barricade next to Nikolai. Shit! Maxis says, oh my god! And Dempsey says, what the? And Takio says, Kaizoku wachi. Nikolai says, oh shit. Dempsey says, you hollowed out. And Harvey Yena says, well? And Takio says, how fucked are we? And Nikolai says, we've dealt with worse. A zombie mime begins to run towards the building alongside multiple dead creatures. Nikolai says, nope, we never had a worse chance. Harvey Yena says, what do we do? Dempsey says, do what we always do. Except this time, it's going to be harder for the K-Koners in the chat. Maxis says, consider this a one-time thing. Just want my daughter to be safe. And Richtofen, for some reason, says, you look her age. The group poses up in a badass way to slay the undead. That's just what it says next. Nikolai is shooting out of the window with the scavenger. Somehow he pulled out the motherfucking scavenger. And Yena takes notice and goes to him. And Harvey Yena says, so, like, how do you like it? And Nikolai says, it's good gun. Kill zombie nice. And Harvey Yena says, hear that, Richtofen? He likes my gun. In the distance, Takio runs next to Dempsey to provide some cover from the bombardment of zombies that approach. Takio says, Dempsey, the light, the box. And Dempsey says, no shit, Takio. Takio and Dempsey dispatch the zombies like it is their jobs. Well, currently it is due to the fact that the only job is to survive. Maxa says, you used to be so much more intelligent, Edward. And Richtofen says, Germans, man. Ye Germans. Oh, wait. Because he's a German. Edward runs off, trailing Dempsey and Takio as he grabs a Bowie knife. Lighting begins to swirl again. The sounds of teleporting silence and the sound of gargling zombies appear. Stuhlinger now comes out and says, conspiracy! This is another damn conspiracy! Marlton says, Stu, are you screaming again? And Misty comes out and says, you are a dang buffoon! Stuhlinger says, what did I ever do to you? And Misty says, exist? Marlton says, if my calculations are correct, the more arguing we do, the lesser our chances of survival are. What the fuck you on, Marlton, you piece of shit? And Misty says, they would be better if Stuhlinger didn't eat Rustman. Rustman says, hello? Am I alive, guys? Misty says, how? What? Never mind, let's go. And now we're back at the warehouse, and Misty says, do you hear that? And Stuhlinger says, guns, bullets, me, the Flash. And Marlton says, Stuhlinger, get a hold of yourself. Missy says, I don't think we are alone. All of a sudden, zombies come sprinting. Marlon says, sheep. And Missy smacks the zombie in the face and shoots the brain. Missy says, nah, it's okay. I'll take care of it. Because y'all know Missy be doing that. Then Rustman said, holy shit, we are young. And Stuhlinger says, I've never looked so good. What the fuck is this? Missy says, exactly, you never will. And Marlton says, so incredible. The time travel must have been... And Missy says, enough said, you motherfucker. Time to survive. More zombies charge at them when we cut back to Richtofen and the company. Zombie slaying for the group continues as more and more yellow-eyed zombies pour. Takio and Dempsey round a corner and find themselves face to face with a glowing box. Dempsey says, let's get it. Dempsey runs over and opens it to a variety of guns, landing on the Python pistol. Dempsey says, really? A fucking piece of shit? And Dempsey turns and runs past Takio. Takio waits for the box when all of a sudden, a zombie comes and bites his neck, killing Takio. Takio says, Dempsey, I'm down. And Dempsey, too invested in his zombie slaying, cannot hear Takio. Richtofen runs past and looks at Takio lying on the ground. Over at the box floats the Winterlock DG2 as it slowly makes its way to the box of wonders. Richtofen says, poor little man. Richtofen runs past, grabbing the gun, and Richtofen says, wunderbar. At this point, our heroes are scattered. Samantha Maxis laughs ever so often, making sure our protagonists are terrified. With our new group, the team kills the last zombie. Let's go. And Stuhlinger says, I wonder where we are. Marlton says, or rather, when we are. Dude, the most stereotypical line ever in zombies. Missy says, all I know is that I'm sick of this shit. And Stuhlinger says, well, I think we'd best be figuring out what the government did to us right now down there then. And Russman says, what? And Stuhlinger says, clearly this is not real. Missy says, our best bet is to try to find the others here. Stuhlinger says, aliens. Marlton says, humans. Russman says, let's go. The group treks off. Maxis has sped off and arrived at a dark hallway with lights flickering. He pulls out a red flare that shines bright in the room. Maxis says, Walking forward, face illuminated, he reaches the end of the hall. There he sees a panel on the wall. And Maxis says, let's get a little more power, shall we? Maxis flings on the power switch, sends a bolt of electricity throughout the warehouse. And we're back at the warehouse. Richtofen makes it towards the others again, and they all regroup. You think I care about you zombies? Richtofen says. And then Dempsey says to Nikolai, I bet the doc has a pole up his ass. And Nikolai says, hey, Comedy Dempsey, nice one. In Soviet Russia, my ex-wife told me a joke once, and now she's dead. Nikolai and Dempsey whirl around, and when a small jingle turns on, the group sees Maxis, who's stopped in front of a tarp, winking at the group. He flings it off to reveal Juggernaut. And Dempsey says, hey. And Dempsey and Nina go over and takes the soda from the machine. Nikolai says, I don't know why you people don't prepare. Nikolai opens his sack, revealing all of the Perca-Colas. He just got Percaholic on him. And Nikolai says, care to drink? The members all drink up, tossing drinks away. They turn around and see a huge horde of zombies approaching. Richtofen says, let's slay the undead. And then all of a sudden, the motherfucker that made the ray gun, H. Porter, emerges from the shadows. And he says, well. And Richtofen says, is that Porter? And Porter says, you got that right. And Nikolai says, who? And Harvey Yena says, so that would be me. I say, the guns, your guns, stupid Russian. Porter walks towards them, revealing the wave gun. Oh my God, they got the motherfucking wave gun. See what I mean? I don't know what the fuck is going on. People are just coming out of nowhere. And Porter says, you ready for something cool? And Porter turns, blaring the wave gun, and explodes the zombies on him. The pieces go everywhere. And Maxis says, wow, that was... And Dempsey says, oh, that was very cool. So now the team recuperates from the badass, that's literally what it says, and proceeds to charge towards the impending horde. Once again, the team faces the undead. Dempsey says, now would be a nice time to teleport, right, guys? And Nikolai says, oh, it's funny, right? Nikolai is still somehow drunk. Porter, oh, you don't know. This version can do that. Porter clicks the gun, and everyone anxiously anticipates amazing. That's literally all it says. And then nothing happens. And Porter says, I love my little jokes. Stuhlinger, Marlton, and Misty all walk into where everyone else is. And Marlton says, what do you think we should do? And Stuhlinger says, they look human to me. Misty says, let's just see. Harvey Yena says, Maxis, any plans? And Maxis says, survive. Nikolai, Richtofen, any better plans? And Richtofen says, I always have a plan. And Samantha Maxis says, Eddie, you lie. In a ball of lightning, Samantha comes flying down. She faces the entire team, eyes radiating yellow. She points her pistol towards Edward. Everyone has now wet their pants. And the shot goes off. And the script fades to black.